Hey guys, today we are going to recap the Solo Leveling Season 1, Episode 1 and 2. Let's get into the video. Episode 1 of Solo Leveling starts 3 years ago, with a Navy officer asking his captain why they are not participating in the fight. The captain tells the officer that it's best to let the hunters handle it, then shift to several low-rank hunters battling an army of large ants. The ants overpower them, but the S-rank hunters arrive and support them. Elsewhere, Guildmaster Choi and his men combat a different army of ants. It's here we learn more about this universe's origins. 10 years ago, several gates appeared that linked the human world with an alternate dimension. Behind each gate lay bizarre creatures called magic beasts, who are immune to standard human weapons. Humans with awakened abilities, called hunters, are assigned to fight them. They're ranked from S to E based on their magic power. Hunters cannot achieve greater strength once they've awakened their powers. 3 years later, two men named Park and Kim catch up on life. Kim wonders why Park is still participating in raids, and Park says he wants to make money to provide for his family. Suddenly, Solo Leveling's protagonist Sung Jinwoo arrives and Kim greets him. Kim tells Park Sung is one of the weakest hunters of all time, and if Sung's ever tackling a raid, it's likely an easy one. Sung then meets a fellow hunter, Joo-hee, who questions why he's scuffed up. Sung details his experience with an E-rank dungeon. Although S-rank hunters accompanied him, they didn't think to bring a healer along for the raid. Joo-hee thinks it was a selfish choice on the S-rank hunter's part, but Sung says he's used to being treated poorly because he's weak. Joo-hee and Sung attend a raid meeting held by their leader, Song Cheol. After greeting his fellow hunters, Song, Sung, and the others travel through a gate. Elsewhere, a man greets Chairman Go and discusses how things went with his meeting with the administration. Go says the administrators are concerned about dungeon breaks. However, they want the hunters to continue collecting valuable items inside every dungeon. Go thinks it's logical, considering hunters make a living by selling the resources they find. He shows his comrade an essence stone, which is something hunters collect from magic beasts they defeat. We shift to Sung's perspective. He's having trouble defending himself against the dungeon's magic beasts. Park saves Sung and says he plans to confront this dungeon's other magic beasts. He asks Joo-hee to look after Sung. We return to Go and his comrade discussing the essence stones more. He says the essence stones can be turned into powerful weapons and gear. Additionally, hunters may encounter mana crystals that have similar applications, but Go says they're less potent. Further, Go says the government wants to use these items for more efficient purposes. He says the government is working on a way to generate electricity using essence stones and mana crystals to produce an ideal clean energy source for the world. Meanwhile, Song and the other hunters defeat the dungeon's boss and celebrate. As Sung watches on, Joo-hee feels Sung shouldn't continue pursuing the hunter lifestyle and reminds him about the injuries he sustained during this expedition. Sung apologizes and wishes he could have achieved more than a mere E-rank essence stone. Several hunters discover a cave and wonder if this will lead to another dungeon. Song suggests they wait to hear from the Hunters Association before tackling the second dungeon. However, Park feels it should be safe since it's connected to a D-rank dungeon. Song asks everyone to vote on whether they should proceed or concede. 6 hunters say yes while the other half say no, leaving Sung to decide for the group. Since Sung's family is in a financial unstable condition, he tells Song they should proceed. Elsewhere, we see an agent and Choi discuss matters involving 1 B-rank hunter and 2 C-rank hunters. Choi's happy to hear this news and tells the agent to make them an offer if they seem like an asset to him. However, he feels these hunters won't compare to Cha Hai-in, an S-rank hunter. After witnessing Cha Hai-in stop 2 thieves, we shift to Sung and the others who are on their way to fight the second dungeon's boss. Joo-hee's frustrated with Sung because of his decision. Our hunters arrive at the dungeon boss's chambers, and we cut to Go virtually greeting several newly awakened hunters. He discusses their world's history from the gates to the dungeons that lay behind them. Additionally, he knows some will choose the hunter path, while others will opt out. He tells the aspiring hunters that it's best to act cautiously and to be fearful of each raid they partake in. The team enters the dungeon and notice that it looks different than the previous one they conquered. Someone informs Song about an ancient scripture, and Song reads it line by line. Meanwhile, Juhi's cautious about one of the dungeon's statues. Once Song finishes reading the scripture, the entrance door closes. One of the hunters attempts to leave but gets murdered minutes later by one of the dungeon's statues. Everyone's concerned about the statues, including Sung, who is worried about the statue that caught Juhi's attention. Sung reflects on his prior dungeon raiding experiences with fellow hunters. He states how the other hunters would walk away with better experiences than himself. Despite his poor occasions with dungeons, Sung says he developed a keen eye for detail concerning opportunities and dangerous scenarios. The statue shoots a laser from its eye and kills a few hunters. Episode 1 ends with this. Now Episode 2. The Episode 2 of the anime starts with Song reaches Sung and appreciates him for his observation skills. Song asks Sung to tend to his wound because he knows Juhi can't handle intense scenarios. Song reflects on his experiences with B-rank dungeons and believes the giant statue that shot the laser beam is an A or S rank level foe. Song recites the lines from the scripture he read in Episode 1. Sung wonders if the god from its text happens to be the giant statue figure. We shift perspective to Sung's sister Gina. She discusses Sung's occupation with a classmate for a bit. We return to Sung and his allies in the second dungeon. Song tells everyone it'd be best to create a solid strategy. One party member disagrees and tries to rely on his speed feats to escape. Unfortunately, he perishes to the giant statue's laser beam attack. Sung questions the statue's murderous intentions. He asks Song to reiterate the ancient scripture's first commandment. Afterwards, Sung bows before the statue since the first commandment requires folks to revere God. The statue halts its attack, signaling to Sung that the statue is the god the scripture is referring to. Sung informs the others to do the same, and they manage to escape death. Then the god statue stands from its chair and comes near to the hunters. Song asks Sung what they should do next. Sung remembers the second commandment's words about praising God. A male hunter approaches the god statue and prays to it. However, the god statue murders the individual. Sung believes it's because the gentleman's words don't apply to the god statue. The god statue murders a female hunter, causing our heroes to flee. Park tries running far away from the god statue but gets murdered by one of the statue's allies. Sung notices a few statues with instruments nearby and tells the others to head toward them. Song and another ally head near these statues. These statues don't show murderous intent. However, Sung and Juhi flee to one statue. Sung leaves Juhi in its protection because he's unsure if the statue will protect them both. Before Sung perishes at the god statue's feet, he reaches a nearby instrument-carrying statue in time, which saves his life. The god statue returns to its seat. Sung realizes this is the correct way to praise it. Juhi rushes over to Sung and realizes he's lost one of his legs. As Juhi heals Sung's wound, Kim scolds Song for his poor leadership and decision. Suddenly, the god statue causes the floor to rupture beneath our hunter's feet and summons an altar. Sung relays intel about altars and their history, in addition to the third commandment's wording about people needing to prove their faith in God. Kim tells Song that he should sacrifice himself. Song approaches the altar, and Sung feels guilty about Song taking the fall for all this. Suddenly, flames start sprouting around the altar. Sung asks two hunters to take him to the altar so he can observe it. At the altar, Sung and Song discuss if it'd be a good idea to wait here for help to arrive. Sung informs the audience about the dungeon break phenomenon that occurs when a gate opens up all the way after 7 days pass. During this event, monsters can cross over to the real world. He mentions why it's important for hunters to defeat a dungeon's boss and seal the gate up before the 7-day limit. Sung fears if they can't find a way to stop the god statue, it'll likely leave its dungeon and cause a ruckus in the real world. Sung asks Kim and Juhi to enter the altar's domain. Suddenly, several statues approach our hunters. Sung tells everyone to keep their eyes on the statues. A female hunter breaks from the pressure and flees somewhere. One of the hunters thinks she made it out okay, leaving Sung mildly confused and contemplating what's going on. Another hunter succumbs to pressure, drops Sung on the ground, and flees in the same direction the woman did. Kim attempts to flee next, but Sung tells him and the others to keep their eyes on the statue. He believes blue flames surrounding them act as a timer, and once they're extinguished, they'll be free to go. Kim chooses to leave. Song tells Juhi to escape with Sung and leave him be. Juhee tries to leave but realizes she can't move her legs. Song wonders if it's because she used too much power during her attempt to heal Sung's wound. Sung tells Song to escape the place with Juhee. Juhee refuses to leave him behind, so Song knocks her out and leaves Sung. Sung's glad he'll be the one to suffer the dungeon statue's wrath. Sung tries retaliating but gets manhandled by the statues. During this brutal beatdown, Sung reflects on his life experiences. Before the final flame extinguishes and one of the statues attacks Sung, a log appears in front of him. This box informs Sung that he's qualified to become a player. It tells him he has 2 seconds to accept the offer or he will die. The episode ends with this.